Hello everyone, and this is day two. And yes, we will be going to resume from where we have paused yesterday. Okay. Right now, what I will be doing, I will be just creating the project folders. Okay. So how to create those folders and how to access those. Okay. So we will just move into that. So before that, it's like I have shared you the Google Doc link with you guys, so that you can easily access basically what will be the flow of our project. Flow our project means the at the very first day what we will be going through, and similarly we will just move ahead with the things. Okay. So right now, just give me a second. Let me share my screen once. Yeah, yeah. Yesterday, what we discussed about, okay, we have what is app.py, prompt.py, chatbot take questions.py. Basically, we discussed all things, and basically in this py files, what all things should contain, okay, and we have discussed all these things, right? So for today what we have to do it is, I will just show you my VS code where I have executed this project successfully. So you can see here there are various folders. It's like you can see here PyCatch folder is there. Within PyCatch, chatbot logic is there. Again, within that subfolder, config.cpython is there. Okay, data handler cpython is there. Take questions, utils, Streamlit, and again in Streamlit there is config qml. Basically, these folders are there, right? So right now you don't have this project, right? You are not accessible to these folders, right? You are starting from scratch. So how can we start from scratch, and how can we create each of those folders? Each of those folders, again, how we will be creating those again with our command prompt, or in any Windows PowerShell which you are using it, right? Then we will similarly see how we can write the code, what to write inside the app.py, chatbotlogic.py. So the first thing, basically, you can see here in this Google Doc. I will share the Google Doc link once in the chat box as well. So for that I need your email IDs. Why I need your email IDs? Because I don't know who is going to access this, right? Because this Google Doc is a public, it's like is not a public, so that anyone can view it, right? It's a private, so for you guys to view it, so that you can understand it in a much better way. Means like, you can see here I have created this doc so that you can understand everything which is needed inside this project. And this is total a theory part, and it contains all codes also, right? So basically you can see here, uh, the first step while creating our project, the very first .py file, right? What will be that, right? So that will be config.py, because ultimately we have to give our configuration, right? Until we don't give our configuration, the Python or the chatbot which we are building it, right, he can't be able to understand, okay, these are the certain things, and these things we have to do it, right? So what all things should be included in config.py is, we have to include our environment variables. Again, environment variables means like, uh, I'm not going into much detail about what do you mean by environment variables, right? Because I will go in the details, then it might take me a long way, right? So I hope when you guys are coming for this project, when you are building this project, so I am assuming you know all these things. What is virtual environment, what is dot environment variables, what is an API keys, right? So these all things, you know it, right? So basically in this config.py, what will be there? It will include of four things. First will be, we will be loading our environment variables. We will be importing our the API keys, and again that particular API key is different when you will go through it. Means like it depends upon person to person. For me, when I will look into for API key, it will be different, and for you guys, the API key will be different. And the third thing which we will be feeding in inside our config.py file is the exit keywords. Again, what do you understand by exit keywords? Exit keywords means, suppose you are uh, executing this chatbot, right? You are writing your name, certain things are there. You have written your phone number. You have written which domain you are going to get interviewed for, right? You have written all those things, but suddenly in between, what I thought that no, I don't want to approach this way, and I have to end it, right? So certainly there will be an option. There will be to end the certain things. For basically, if I have written end, or I have written stop, or I have written quit, so basically these are the words. These are the words which we should make our chatbot understand. कि, okay, the user is trying to exit the chatbot, and here we will be just stopping our all the execution, and the chatbot will not perform, means like further, right? And here, default text stack. Again, default text stack means, for example, for which domain you are going to get interviewed for, right? So we have to write all these things. These four things should contain in config.py file, right? So these all things should contain. And again, what is the purpose of config.py file, right? So you can see here, the purpose means like, think of config.py file as a command center. It's like it will be the command center of your chatbot. Command center means from here, the every command will be given to the chatbot, whether it's executing the things, whether the domain which we are looking into for, right? So these all things will be given from this particular py file, right? So you can see here a secret API keys, means like you don't share your API key with anyone. So the API keys is the certain things, they should be kept hidden from you guys, right? So these all things should contain inside config.py file, right? And constants used across your project are declared once and reused everywhere. Constants means, for example, like you went to the chatbot, right? And chatbot asked for which domain you are getting interviewed for, right? And you have typed Python, or you have typed data analyst, or you have typed front end developer, right? So these all things will be stored at once itself. Means like the chatbot will ask you, he will give you the list of 6 to 7 domains. Okay, these are the domains, and for these domains I will provide you the questions, and for these domains we are hiring basically, and you have to answer particularly on these particular domains, right? So for this purpose, means like these are the constants which we will be using throughout our project and throughout our files, right? And again, why to use these constants? Because it will just minimize our hard coding. Hard coding means like, for example, if you want to exit from chatbot, right? If you want to just enter some values, right? So for each of the thing, what you have to do, you have to write in the separate file, whether that file is uh, app.py, take questions.py, right? So you have to hard code yourself. So to avoid hard coding, what we need, we make this config.py file. So I hope you have understood what's the purpose of config.py file and what this basically config.py file does. Okay, so you can see here, it's like as I scroll down, you can see here what goes inside config.py file, right? So you can see here, environment variable loader. We will use dot env package to load OpenAI from .env file. Okay, I will create one file as .env file, and within that env file I will store my api key, and using a certain python library, for example .env, we are using this package, we are using this library, and using with these libraries what we can do, we can similarly locate our api key, and we can call our folder .env file to okay to just load our API key into our system, right? And what's the basic syntax for that? Yes, it's like import OS. Again, OS here it's import operating system, and from .env we are importing load.env. Again, load, what does it means? It will helps you to load the environment, the variables which is there inside .env file. Basically, what we are storing in .env file, we are storing uh, our API key, and again from where we will get that API key, these things we will discuss, right? We will tell from where we are getting that API key. And API key configuration, we don't want it. We don't want it to hard code it, right? So instead of that, we will be writing like this way: open API key is equal to os dot get environment. So like this, we will be using it. And again, on the third structure of our config.py file, as you have told you, the exit keywords, right? The exit keywords like exit, buy, stop, quit. So these are all the things when you hit the keyboard, when you write the keyboard upon these certain words, the chatbot will automatically understand, okay, the user wants to leave and he doesn't want to give his information or doesn't want to carry forward with his interview part, right? So these all things will be there. Again, we will use this list. This list will be used in utils.py to detect if users wants to leave or not. So now you are understanding that in config.py file is basically the heart of our program, or heart, or you can say it's the brain, right? Where everything will be there, and within that our certain .py file will take the things. For example, let's take a real life example. It's like a human body, right? For example, you have six sense organs, right? To perform that sense organs, what do you need? You need a receptor from your brain to locate it. Okay, if you are touching this object, so this object is whether hot and cold, so how you are getting those things, right? You are getting a receptor from your nerve, and your nerve is locating to your brain, and your brain is conveying this message, okay, this thing is hot. If your brain is not working, then what you will do, you will just hold the hot pot like this, and it will be like this, right? If your brain is not working properly. So basically config.py file here is the brain of our project. And again, we have to execute these things accordingly. So again, this comes the default tech stack. Default tech stack, again, the same thing which I have explained you, that it will contain the Python, Django, React, SQL. Basically, these are the domains. These are the domains that you will be getting interviewed for. Again, you can write the domains as per your choice. Instead of Python, you can write here data science. Instead of Django, you can write here AI engineer. Instead of React, you can write here full stack developer. Instead of SQL, you can write here DevOps, right? So it's depends upon person to person whether what type of questions you want to fetch with that particular open.py file, right? So final config.py code will look similar like this, that we will be importing our operating system, and from .env we will be loading env files, right? So like this it will be there. Again, we will be calling our OpenAI, our API key, like this, and keywords we have to mention here, and again default text stack we have to mention here as well. Then what will be the second part? First you have uh, created your config.py file, right? Then what you need to test your file, that okay, your file is working appropriately or not. Okay, so I have to create a .env file in the root same directory, same level as config.py file, and I have to add OpenAI key, which I have told you earlier. that basically what it will contain inside .env file. Obviously it will contain the OpenAI key, right? So that thing which I have told you earlier, right? So it will contain those. Then in the other file, like example test config.py, we will write certain keywords. Okay, these all things we want to get, these all things the chatbot need to access, and chatbot need it. So from config we will import open AI key, exit keywords. So these all things we will be doing, right? And our step 2 will be again prompt.py. We will be creating prompts.py. Step 3 will be utils. Step 4 will be data handler. Step 5 will be take questions. 6 will be chatbot. And the step 7 is app.py. Basically now you have understood, in our project config.py was the brain of our project, right? And this app.py is the heart of our project, right? If your heart stop beating, right, you will certainly die, your body will not function, right? So basically these two files are the most important thing. First is config.py file, and second is app.py file. App.py file is basically the heart of your project, and from here everything will be getting operated, right? Or you can tell vice versa as well, that config.py file is your heart and app.py file is your brain. From app.py file you are getting to locate, okay, we have to perform this particular thing, and this particular thing should be executed in this particular way, right? So these all things are there, and again you can see here that how we can set up those. Okay, so now, for example, you are starting from your terminal or VS Code with no project folder yet. So now what I will do, I will just create the main project folder. Means like how we can create similarly the project folders, right? So I will be creating those. So for this, what you need, you can go here in your command prompt. Just open your command prompt and write here uh, mkdir. Basically it's make directory upon what I have to make upon talent, uh, talent chatbot, right? I have to make this directory. So I will just execute this line of code, and you can see here my talent.chatbot is successfully created, right? So I will just use my next command. My next command will be cd, and again I will write the same thing. I will look for the current directory here. Cd means current directory. We are looking where is my this particular folder being created, right? So I will write here talent hyphen chatbot, and when I executed this, you can see here my chatbot is basically located in my C drive users Avinash talent chatbot. Basically, I have opened my that particular folder, and within that particular folder, I am going to create the several files, right? So what will be the first files which I will create it, right? So I will create touch app.py file, right? I will write chatbot logic.py file, right? I will write prompts.py. I will write take questions. I will write take questions.py. Again, I will write utils. So basically, these all things are necessary. These files are necessary for our project to execute it properly, right? If you are missing any of these things, these are the 7 main code files, right? If you are missing any of this, then our project will not work properly. Again, why these files means, like, these every files is necessary. Just understand, right? Your body has 5 sense organs, right? You can see, you can hear, you can taste, you can feel, right? So if any of your sense organ is not working properly, that that what does it means, right? Whether you are blind or deaf, or you just can't speak means, right, your body doesn't function properly. So for that reason, you have to create all these py files so that your chatbot can execute successfully. So you can see here, basically here, touch, what this touch does, touch will help us to create this particular .py file inside our talent chatbot folder. Again, what are these 7 important